I am lonely, but I do not want to be around people. So I have brought myself here. We are going to go into the Broken Down Mall, which is also lonely and is not around people. People doing remote control cars in the parking lot. Woo! I'm not sure why I chose to go down Macme Corridor, but okay. They're trying to lure me in with a plush pit. Okay, I could totally get one of these because it's a youth service kiosk. Should I try to drive around the mall? I so want to. I feel so bad for the people that work at this Bath and Body Works. It's got to be the most lonely, slow time moving job ever. But enjoy the vintage. Look at this one. I always feel like I should buy them lattes or something. Oh, the COVID shop place is hopping. There are a lot of people here. And we have this thing where we're flinging people up to the air. I should go on that too. There's my bones scattered throughout the mall. I'm always fascinated with this guy. He sits and makes all this glass stuff. Ooh, I wonder if he does custom orders. I'd like a donut. I'm not going in there because I'm intimidated, but look, I'm intrigued at whatever those animal heads are. Okay, this isn't living up to my no people in here experience I was expecting. Okay, there are people having more fun than me. There's a festival or something in here today. I never know what's happening. And there's still Dippin' Dots here. Truthfully, how proud can you be to serve this stuff? That sounded grabby, but there's just too many people here. I want to show you something interesting. For starters, this floor in Burlington makes me so dizzy. Look at this experience. It's like we're matrixing. Okay, when COVID hit, they started squishing down the store by adding these things. I mean, see how far that goes? And they keep adding more and more and more of these. So my theory is they're just going to keep rolling the store up like a tube of toothpaste till they get to the mall and then just shut business. I'm dressed today for maximum invisibility because I'm grumpy. I should try to go through employee entrances. I should go right around on one of these animals and like ram into people. I am so grumpy. They have an angry bird that would fit the mood and serve as a warning. I don't know if I can wear tort sizes. I have a sweater that's a 0 that I got at a thrift store. But isn't that little heart sweater cute? I went and looked and the sweater are $60, so no thank you. And then some real nice person came and asked if they could help me and told me about their sale. I said thank you, and I ran out of the store in a panic. I just got recognized by someone I wouldn't have thought would be my key demographic. I told him I was grumpy and he said, "Oh, I'm sure you're not." Then I hit him. Part of that story is not true.
Have you ever thought about how embarrassing it would be if you had to be resuscitated at work with a defibrillator? Can't say it. So I want you to picture it. It's horrible, but stay with me. You've had a heart attack. It's rough. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to you. All your co-workers, you're lying on the carpeted office room floor, and all your co-workers are gathered around you going, oh God, she's down. That's bad, she's down. Wake up, look at me. It's like some scene out of a movie, and you just... Anyway, Carol from downstairs in Humanities, in Human Resources, runs upstairs. Don't worry, everyone out the way. I found the defib in the first aid box, I assume. That's where they keep it. Get out the way. I need to... Has she got any metal on? And as a person who has boobs, I may, well, most likely be wearing a wired bra. It has a little bit of metal. Can't, none of that. It'll just frazzle you when you have a thingy. So Carol's got a little nail scissors at the first aid. She's cutting it off. £40 Victoria's Secret bar out the window. Everyone now knows you're not a double D. You're an A. You've just been lying, and you're lying there like a naked little sparrow that's hit a window, just boobs to the wind. Everyone's gathered round like, but they're probably not pointing forwards. They're probably more to the side. I don't know how your boobs move. Mine probably invertedly went into my chest. I'm looking like an 8-year-old boy. And Carol's going for, what if when they zap you, your boobs just to get, I don't know how it works. I don't think I'd go back. I think I'd just, let me go. I don't want, imagine going back to work a couple of weeks later knowing everyone's seen your lifeless breasts, just cold out on the office room floor. No. It's not for me. I mean, it's your choice, but it's not for me.
Let's do it. We'll do it. Let's go. Come over here. Come into my laboratory, and we have all of these generic clear shapes, and then we have all these other shapes that low-key I need to polish, but I have not. I'm going to take this generic shape, and we're basically just going to make a stock eye out of it. I chose this shape because it's pretty general in size. The back is really concave, so it could fit most people's sockets, even if it ended up being loose. And it doesn't have any like ptosis buckles or anything else that would help different lid issues. And then I take my alcohol torch and some wax, and I'm going to put a peg on the front of this so that we have somewhere for the button to go. When placing the peg on a generic shape like this, I'm basically just going to find where like the corneal dome is and drop it in right there. Okay, so you can see when you see this straight on, it looks like the pupil, right? From above, it's on that peak. From the side, it's still on the peak, right? It might not translate that well to video, but that peg is where the button goes. This being our button. So now we're gonna go make a mold. I didn't film the mold making process just because my molds are better when I'm actually paying attention to making them. But that takes about 10 or so minutes to set up, so I'm gonna make myself some tea. That wasn't 10 minutes, I'm a liar. I'm gonna hit you with the other Emily's stance. But there it is. I'm gonna clean this up and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's our cleaned up mold. Beautiful, as per usual. I mean, I refuse to be humble about it. I'm an earth sign and I'm making rocks and they look great, okay? Now we're gonna go put everything together and then get it in to cook, yes? All right, so here's the plastic station, nothing fancy. I take one of these cups. We're going to use a generic color acrylic powder. We pour our monomer in there. You just want it to just be wet, not soaked, like that. And then we mix, but I also have to pay attention to that, so I will not be filming it. So you mix the dough, and you put it into the mold. I always open it to check to see how everything looks. But you put dough in the front, and then you place the peg in there, and then you put the rest of the dough, and you press these together, right? Okay, then you fill the liquid steam up with water, we pop it in there, and we cook it. This is what it's going to look like when it comes out. You can see the buttons in there, the pegs on the top, and then I grind down to paint, which I will gladly show you in another part.
Okay, so you want to start off by separating your hair like this and try and get it as even as possible at the back here. Let me do it. Okay, now that it's as straight as possible, tie off your hair at the top, and you want to segment the two bottom pieces in half. You want to do a really tight braid on one of the sides. Tie it off and then do it on the other side. Now that's done, take this out. I'm going to do two little braids at the front, so you want to take a little segment from there and make it a bit even. I like to get about this much hair and make it into a little square. And once again, you just want to do a tight braid all the way down. Also, if you have shorter hair, like that's fine. You can make this work. Your braids will just be shorter, but I think it'll be still look cute. And of course, just do it on the other side as well. And you want to tie it off at the end. Now that's done, you want to separate like all the little hairs that are getting stuck to the braid. And then with the remaining hair, you want to do a line down and make sure it lines up with the braids at the back. Like this. And then once that is even, you want to brush your hair up and do a little pigtail. I'm just going to hair tie and I'm going to tie it up like this. I like to do both so I can see where my buns are going to sit and make sure that it's even. That looks pretty even to me. And then you want to braid down each of these and tie it off at the end. So you want to make sure your braid is really tight at the top because it makes it easier to do your bun later. So just make sure you start off really tight and just have the braid really tight the whole way. Okay, now that you have your two braids, you literally just want to twist it in place. I like to go backwards and have like a little piece of hair sticking out there just because I think it's cute. And then I get some bobby pins. I usually use about two and just poke it into the end of the braid at the back. It feels pretty secure with one, but I'm just going to do two in case. Sometimes the bun shape does not sit properly. Today I'm having a good hair day, so it's working out pretty fine. But you might have to like just try it a few times to get it right. And because I have lots of little baby hairs, I just like to pin them up on the side here. I have this star clip and I'm just going to pin it. This is optional, but I like to put some earrings in my hair. I just use book binding clips to secure it. added 2 little bobby pins because my plaits weren't sitting right. But yeah, that's the look. And this is the final look.
Do you think social media is harmful to young women? Why would it be harmful? What might create unrealistic beauty expectations? How would it do that? Well, for example, all the beauty filters. Well, what's wrong with filters? Well, you know, some might artificially enhance the way you look and then you measure yourself against that. Huh. I never noticed.
Let's talk about proof copies. So lots of people were very curious as to how come I was posting about a book so far ahead of its publication. And so basically it's a proof copy. So publishers print advanced copies. In the US, they call them ARCs, advanced review copies or advanced reader copies. And in the UK, we call them proofs. And they're just marketing materials. So they get very cheaply published. They're usually paperback and they don't necessarily have the finished cover. For example, this, it's flipped, but Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. This is amazing, by the way, it's out in March. This is like a really early proof, so it's got a plain cover. Whereas this one, Notes on an Execution, this is a nice cover, it's not the finished cover. Or, you know, this is the finished cover for The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. I'm so sorry they're flipped. That's the finished cover, so they can all look different. And basically, they have lots of purposes, one of which is they're used to proofread the final copy. Another purpose of them is to send them out to early readers to get some buzz and excitement about them. So those readers could include booksellers to try and get them in bookshops. They could include authors or key industry figures to try and get endorsements printed on the cover. Like so. And then they just go out to people who make content about books as well. So like booktubers, booktokers, bookstagrammers, bloggers, all that kind of thing. So that is how come I was reading We Had to Remove This Post so far in advance. I did read it. It wasn't a little trickaloo. I was sent it legitimately. Some other stuff about proofs. You're not allowed to sell them on. You're actually meant to recycle them when you're done with them, which feels like really taboo because it feels like a book. But you're not meant to sell them because they often contain errors or things that may end up being removed. I will try not to post so far in advance in the future because I appreciate it must be quite annoying to see a book and be like, oh, and then discover you can't read it for like a few months. But the whole point of them is that you post them in advance of the book being released. So if you want to keep up with Frontlist and new stuff that's coming out, follow my account. And I've said this before, but I will say it again. If you want me to talk about how to get proofs, let me know and I will do a video about that.
Good morning from the lake house. I've never shown y'all the lake house, have I? Dale and I are here to help the guys install granite countertops, which I think is already like out of style personally, but Dale wanted it. He was always like, everybody's getting granite countertops like 5 years ago. And I was like, we'll do it someday. And then now we're doing it. And I'm like, Dale, I think it's like Formica is back in or something because this granite looks outdated to me. It's like brown granite. I'm like, I thought there was only gray granite. What's brown granite? Anyway, it's costing us $50,000 because we just have countertops all around the house. Just gotta make sure not to wash chicken on them.
This is literally crazy. I just walked past the aisle and this man had his whole ass and belly out. Like I'm talking about, you know how people sag a little bit? No. He didn't even have underwear on. I'm so shocked. That caught me off guard. I hope I walk back by and I see that again. Well, I'm not gonna sit and record it because that shit crazy as fuck. That was disgusting. Oh, cat food. I'm looking for cat food. That really got my they got my mind scrambled. Dang, they don't have that much cat food here. I guess that's what I have to do. Ooh, okay. Hold on.
So these are my stirring sticks. At the end of the day, I take them out of the wax pot and I place them on my wax pad. The wax pad can take on all the wax in the world and you can still clean it off. Same goes for these stirring sticks. You can get these at any local store. I got these at Hobby Lobby for like $5. They were on sale. Once it's dry, I just remove the wax, sanitize them, and then I reuse them over and over again. It saves me so much money.
One of the maps in reflexology relates this area to the female reproductive system. With a light hand using your reflexology tool, you want to do small circles, really concentrating on finding crunchy spots. You can do 5 to 10 rounds when working on a large area, which we call zones. Reflexology works with your nervous system. The nerves in your face are connected to the 7th cranial nerve, which travels through your body. I like to tap 10 times on the shoulder points for extra relaxation. Remember, everything is connected.
Someone just informed me that I have this happening. Okay. I can't. Is that better?
Yes, this happens all the time. They don't want you to know what goes down in their parking lots at the casino floor. It is very bad for business and it's sad. I've had people take their life in the car, in the parking lot, in the restrooms, people getting robbed at the cashier checking out, people's cars getting stolen in valet. It is bad for business.
Your gut is not working and you are fatigued and low energy. And your thyroid is not functioning properly and you can lose weight and you can't sleep either. If any of this is familiar to you, maybe your adrenal gland is not working properly and you may be under chronic stress. If that's you and you need help, let me know.
Hi TikTok fans, this is Toyman Rick and I want to share with you a new product that's coming to the US shortly called Doodle Jams. This creative little pellets of gel really is like painting but without the mess. You can move these beads around. You can hear the sound. You can flatten it out like a pizza, or I can draw a line right through it, or I can use a stylist and quickly make different designs or move them all together. Look at that, tentacles of an octopus perhaps.
I can't take it off. I can't take it off. Like, take it off. I can't. Take it off. I can't take it off. Like, take it off. I can't.
Let's try the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation.
I was colour matched in store to Oslo, but unfortunately they had run out, so the lady gave me this little tester. You can barely see it on my skin. It's probably the best colour match I've ever had. A little goes a long way with this foundation. I was not expecting that, and it's fuller coverage than I was expecting, but feels light on the skin. And also, because it's so hydrating and glowy, it doesn't look like you're wearing as much makeup as you are. This is definitely worth the hype, lasted all day, and just has such a beautiful finish.
There is a specific face that people make in their Instagram posts that actually makes me want to walk into a river. And not one person asked my opinion on this, but I'm gonna tell it to you. I absolutely hate it. The second that I do this face, you will think of at least 3 people that you know that this is their go-to. I have nearly blocked people because of this. It drives me up a wall, and I actually cannot tell you why, but here it is.
So I think I may have got myself in a bit of a pickle. So the other day I was sitting on my sister's balcony because during Ramadan, by the way, she lives in like a really large Muslim community. So during Ramadan, like when the sun starts to go down, I kind of hang out on her balcony because I know all the Muslim community is gonna be outside and they be having like their hijabs, they be having like these plates of foods and they be socializing. It literally just looks so freaking beautiful. So I just watch from afar and do my little Ramadan watch, whatever. So then, I wave and stuff like that if they like talk to me, and I'll be like, oh hey, Ramadan Mubarak and stuff like that. Very, very fun, cool, perfect, right? Yeah, says this lady, and then she's like, oh hey, thank you. So she walks away. 5 minutes later she comes back, and I was like, she was like, hey, can I tell you something? Could I talk to you? And I was like, oh my god, what have I said? What have I done wrong? I know I must have said something like wrong. So then I go downstairs and I'm like, oh hey, like what's going on? And she was like, would you like to come to iftar? And I was like, yes, of course. I agreed immediately because I do want to go. But I didn't ask her a lot of questions. I did give her my number. Her name is Fatima. And then she told me the date. It's April 16th. And she told me where to go, whatever. She was like, yeah, we can meet here and then we can go together. I was like, okay, period. I was so excited. I didn't ask this, like, not one question about, like, what is expecting me, what I'm supposed to wear. Like, am I supposed to be fasting that day out of respect? I literally have no clue. She asked me 2 questions. Are you single? I was like, yeah. And then she was like, are you Muslim? I was like, no. She was like, okay. And then that was it. Like, I know y'all like, oh, Google exists, but white people be on Google. And they be saying just about anything.
Is open.
Thank you for asking a question, because we don't hate, we educate here. So first, what is a sign name? A sign name is how your name is translated from spoken language to ASL. It is easier to assign one sign. So for example, my brother's name is Ashton. So it's easier to sign Ashton instead of spelling Ashton every single time you talk about someone. 2, we as hearing people, it's a pretty standard belief that I agree with. We do not get to make our own sign names. We're not really in the position to make a sign name for another person. It's a pretty common belief. I know a few people who believe differently, but pretty standard. We don't make our own sign names. It should be assigned by a deaf or hard of hearing person, especially because normally they will come up with it in some way attaching to your personality. Like my sister, for example, her name's Olivia with an A, and her sign name, she has a little dimple, she has a dimple chin, the chin. So I hope that helps, that explanation. If you have more questions, I'm happy to answer them, but also I know there's a lot of resources available on the internet that will further explain from some professionals in deaf studies, whatever. So, yeah.
Yes, this is how I look in the morning. I want to show you a neat tip. If you ever fill your coffee cup too full and you have to walk to a table or to a chair, you stick a spoon in the middle and you walk with it and it won't spill. I learned that 50 years ago and I still do it today. It's a good household tip.
It starts off somewhat biographical or autobiographical, and it says the sweet Val of Avoca. So that's how we know where she lived. And all of these are cutouts from magazines, from women's magazines that were popular in the period. So she layered and layered these, a collage of magazine cutouts, leaves, these colored dye wool balls, there's veils in there. So it's actually, spatially it's a very sophisticated design. Then every single page is covered the edge with satin ribbons, and then the inside portion of the page is also covered with ribbons, and then she used these ribbons to stitch the book together, and that's how the binding was put on. So all of this is done by hand.
I just got to the mall, so come shop with me. I have to get something in here one day. Airbrush designs will never go out of style. First up is Hot Topic. Really like this ring. I only like this one though, and I'm not paying $12 for one ring. I like how they used the old logo for these earrings. A My Melody eyeshadow palette. I think I see a Hello Kitty face mask. Oh, these lip balms. My Melody highlighter. Found a Happy Bunny pin. Gonna go in this store called Spoiled, which I'm the black-haired brat, so hopefully I should find something in here. These glasses. What do we think? I already have that top, but I really wanted to get a matching one for my friend. They don't have the same white one I have. I bought those glasses. If you were actually here right now, we'd be taking photo booth pictures for sure. Wow, this is like some cool music. Rest in peace, the Victoria's Secret that used to be right here. I've already shown off these phone cases, but I love looking at them every time I come to this mall. The iPhone 5C was my first phone. I would have loved this back in the day. Are any of these iPhone 4 cases? Like 4S? Do you have any? I don't think so. I think they're all 5s. I mean, they're really old, so. Nope. No iPhone 4 or 4S cases for me. Claire's. Oh my god, these earrings. If I had my second holes pierced, I would put these in with these. These crowns. This one's the one I already have. Got those earrings, now it's time for city trends. If this was adult size, I'd be rocking this sweater. Imagine if I cut it into like an off-the-shoulder number. It's for a 12-year-old though. Like totally, oh my god. If I had a car, trust and believe I'd be getting this. Wait guys, am I gonna change my room already? What? Major bummer. It's not silk or satin sheets. Rue 21 has Playboy. The back of my Juicy tracksuit says Juicy, so some guy just said, "Hey Juicy." I guess that's my identifier. It wasn't because I was cute either. He was literally trying to sell something. This pink ice perfume smells like pure nostalgia, so I'm buying it.
Two things that are not luxury that I consider luxury. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for your comment. I truly appreciate it. The following two things are actions and/or items that I find luxurious, but are commonly considered passé. The first is being very publicly well hydrated. Individuals who carry around large water bottles and take large sips throughout the day are incredibly luxurious in my eyes. It may sound like I'm joking, but I'm being very serious. People with large water bottles just peeking out of their bag, or reusable bottles always in their hand, sipping mid-conversation, always water, never too cold. They're on another level. As well, the aesthetic choice to not put a case on your phone. Individuals who carry their phone without any case. The phone exposed to the world, but yet in good condition. One is incredibly refreshing to see what a phone actually looks like, and two comes off very.
When I was in 5th grade at Catholic school, they told us abortion was wrong, and I said, "Excuse me, hello, what's an abortion?" And they said, "Go home and ask your mom." And I said, "I can't wait that long. What if I accidentally get one on the way home?" And they asked me to go out to the hallway, and then I went to public school.
It's 5:30 in the morning. Come hang out with me for my job at the mung bean factory. Okay, yeah, I know you already saw this clip. I can't really film at work. Here's the thing. Whenever you clock into a job, you're no longer a human being. You are a machine. You have to move as quickly as possible at all times. Even when I hit my fingers on this machine, I'm like, they're just hands. It doesn't matter. We gotta beat the clock. We got beans to bag, missy. Anyway, here I am eating my lunch because it is embarrassing and ugly and I don't want anyone to see. I made it myself. Okay, we are so close to being done. We are so close to clocking out, but then they always start having some kind of discussion. I don't know what they're saying. They're kind of holding me hostage here, so immediately I start spacing out and thinking about time and how, unless there is a tangible form of measurement,
Happy Halloween.
We forget its presence, that it's constantly weathering us down into something we can hardly recognize. And even when we remember, yes, we are tethered to time, we forget about it like right after. Like, you know how that sobering image of the aftermath of a car accident on the side of the road reminds you to be alert and to drive really well, and you're like, oh shit. But then like 3 minutes later, you're playing around on the radio. Kind of like that. Anyway, seeds turn into sprouts. A newborn's age multiplies into adolescence, into parenthood, into midlife, into grandparent, into hospice, while a stranger holds their hands as they pass. A pug puppy that could fit in your hand and resembled a wiggly potato grew into a lanky teenager, to an adult who would run with me through every shore, every swamp, up and down, every trail, every field, every city street, till he slowed down when his joints got too stiff and he got too old and too tired to live anymore. To erode with others into a greater static is a luxury. I know this even if I don't feel it right now, I know it. To fill up our paper bag lungs with petri dish air until we dip back under again through the current, through the riptides out to the other side, until we need to breathe again. There is no beginning and there is no end. And I feel like I'm about to start crying, so now I gotta focus really hard on whatever they're doing over there. I think they're counting. Okay.
If you're putting on your concealer and you can still see your dark lines, this might help. Okay, so once you've laid down your normal concealer, which I have already done, you want to do this right here and blend it inwards. And I've been doing this for months and I am not going to go back to doing any other way because just look. I did a video explaining why this works using Procreate a long time ago. And just look how it's gonna look after I set it. Look how dramatically improved my lines look. Okay, so I went through this guy's shower after seeing this girl's video. Okay. Like, okay. Like, I don't want to touch it, but he has a sister, but like I don't think she visits. Like I think she lives somewhere else. And I knew something was up because like I haven't seen this guy in like months, and like all of a sudden, like I shouldn't even be here. That's besides the point. Okay. I don't even know what to tell him. Like I think I want to like ask him like, oh, like you use scrub, you use the scrub or like bend. I'm like, I don't want to like go through his stuff, but I'm like, there's no way, like no. I've been in here for like 10 minutes and I literally don't know what to do. I have to get out, so I'm just gonna flush the toilet like I've been using.
The lavender spray you have is really cool.
Lavender spray? Which one?
The one in the bathroom? Where'd you get it?
Oh, yeah, that one. My sister got that. Yeah, she gave me that.
Did she just visit, or?
Yeah. She was in town for a little bit.
And she lives in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
She was here?
Yeah,
She
was
comes
here.
a lot.
Yeah, sometimes.
Hi. I love this store. Wow. Oh, it's so cute. This is actually. I'm here to ask if you have something like this. It's from Africa.
Fantastic. Okay, we're over halfway through, which is good, I think. We're making good time. Okay, our next question was...
This is the Winsor & Newton Field Box, and it's the first professional watercolor set that I ever got. In the back is a thumb hole where you can hold the box while you're painting, and then the lid comes off and doubles as a water pot. As you open the box up, you can fold down these two pellets, and then this container holds water and also doubles as a pellet itself. There's this little notch on the end that coincides with this notch on the lid, and you can put them together for when you're painting. The set comes with its own little watercolor brush that you can open up and then put the lid on for a longer handle. And this container holds the water that you can then pour into the lid. I can hold the palette in one hand, which leaves me free to paint with my other. It comes with professional watercolor paints. These are not the ones that it came with. I've had this set for years and I've replaced them as I've needed. It also only comes with 12 colors. I've added a few in these spaces. To add paints, you can push this lever and open the middle section. The paints on the outside are held in place with this centerpiece that has a ridge on the outside as well as on the inside. And then just slide the other colors in this middle groove and snap it back into place. This little sponge is used for knocking extra water off of your brush, for cleaning your brush in between colors, and also for textural effects. When you're finished, it all folds back together, and then the lid holds everything into place.
Mommy, where is the toilet paper? Have you checked the bathroom? Yes, there's no more left. Let me ask my boyfriend. Boyfriend? What? I thought you were going Dutch. No. Me and, Chris are dating. A new Chris? The same Chris. Mommy. No. I don't like him. But I do, baby. What about my happiness? I want you to be happy, but why do you have to date Chris Angel Mind Freak? Because he makes all of my worries disappear. He also swallows razor blades for living, Mama. Let me ask him. Chris, do you know where the toilet paper is?
Check your ass.
What?
What's up, man? Yeah, she came back. She's asleep right now. We've been cuddling for a while, but she's pretty knocked out. Not literally, obviously. More of just a cool way of saying she's asleep. In the morning, we'll probably go out, get a coffee or something. Wouldn't want to have breakfast here, you know, we'll go out, we'll get a coffee, make a little morning out of it. What's going on? Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, she's in my room sleeping. We're gonna get a coffee in the morning. Dude. Let's go. Let's go. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to sleep. Dude, borrow my laptop now. It's huge. You and her can watch movies on. I think we're just gonna keep sleeping. Get her a present, dude. She wakes up and you've gotten her a nice present. Alright. Slam dunk, dude. I'm gonna go to bed, you guys. You're gonna get so many... You're gonna get so much... Alright. Good night. I'm leaving. Me too. Yo. You actually look really handsome right now. Your guard's down, sort of chill attitude. Mad handsome and mad respect. Pound it, me next. Pound it, pound it.
Last weekend, Brian and I went on a short getaway, and we had the pleasure of staying at the Price Tower in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Built in 1956 and designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, it is the only example of a skyscraper ever built of his work. It was designed as an office building for the H.C. Price Company, a local oil and chemical firm. It is rumored that originally it was supposed to be about twice the size that it wound up being, but due to budgetary concerns, the scale on the drawings was just changed. And as you can see, this elevator is tiny. It really only fit the two of us and our luggage. And as we walk into this room, that door is only a 2-foot door. This isn't our first time staying here, but this time we stayed in a 2-story suite, and it was really cool. However, these stairs were definitely not for the faint of heart. The structure for the tower is actually very interesting. It is designed with a central elevator core, and each floor plate is cantilevered off of that core, as you can kind of see here. We stayed on the 14th floor of 19, and the view is pretty incredible. It even has that corner window. The 2-story suite actually was originally designed to be an apartment, and you will see an original bathroom here with all of the original tile and fixtures from the 50s. Brian and I actually stayed here for our first wedding anniversary over 10 years ago. When we came, we actually discovered this really amazing restaurant, which you'll see here, Frank and Lola's, just down the street. Come for the bread pudding.
This is the exact reason that I should not be allowed to go to the thrift store by myself. Because who needs a ceramic bag of celery? Like, no one does, which is why it was at the thrift store for a month before I bought it. And I told myself, like, Tracy, you obviously do not need this. But then it was on sale, and I obviously had to get it. And you know what? It's going to match my lettuce bowl perfectly.
Well, hey, my little turnip greens. So today, we're in Purvis, Mississippi at the Dollar Holler. Right there's a Dollar General, and right there's a Family Dollar and a Dollar Tree. So what they don't got over here, they might have over there, or they might have it cheaper. So if the potted meat is too high over here, you can go get it over there, or dog food, whatever, it's all the same thing. But anyway, I would say you could get you a cold beer. It's awful hot out here. I know I would want to get me a cold beer, but you know, you can't drink alcohol in Purvis because, my goodness, what would Jesus think if alcohol was allowed in Lamar County? This place is a geographical oddity. Purvis, Mississippi.
MashaAllah, Sister Minnie. I love your hijab. Are you ready, Brother Abdul? He wants to do marriage for you. You will have 10,000 tunas. Very nice, you know. And you can save the biting for Brother Abdul because he will not only give you 10,000 tunas, but also 10,000 booping. So every day I will be scooping, Ya Allah.
Won't we all? Let's do some more of these. Here are 2010s cringe and their 2020s equivalent. I'm no longer going to say millennial cringe versus Gen Z equivalent because people get so mad at me for implying I'm a millennial. I'm not a millennial, but I was actually a sentient, conscious person in the 2010s. So I think I'm allowed to say whatever it is I'm going to say. I don't really know yet. All right, let's get into it. There is a certain genre of astrology zodiac content that is just very clearly the new Hogwarts houses. These like cropped tank tops, don't want to use the name for them in case it gets censored. But you know, like the cute ribbed tank top. Those are the modern day version of these muscle tanks with the sleeves all cut out that were very baggy, very loose. Like, this is what cool girls wore then. That's what cool girls wear now. These kind of mid-length skirts, particularly the silky ones, they're kind of funky, they're kind of casual, but they're still skirts, still dressing it up. I love these. But you know what else I loved? High-low skirts. High-low skirts. And those are the new these. Patterned or funky flares, which of course I had to use this girl as an example because apparently she invented them and I believe in giving credit. Those are the new colorful or patterned skinny jeans. I have a pair of patterned flares and I had multiple pairs of these. Again, none of these come from a place of judgment, only observation. And lightning round, pastel purple is the new mint green, bright orange is the new neon orange. Bright colors in general are the new neon colors, particularly if you're wearing them in a suit, and raccoons and possums are the new sloths.
This was during Tumblr era, when you could save GIFs to your phone. I had a phone that the amount of that I saved to this phone. And I remember I was a grown woman. I was in college. I remember this. I had so much saved to this phone, dude. I remember, like, we went to go get my phone changed out. And this was before it just showed, I fucking hate these people, bro. This was before, at Verizon, before it just was a line, it was a loading bar, and it just was like copying files, you know? And it's like that little animation. No. The tech could see all of your pictures. They could see all your pictures. I remember the look on this man's face when he had to transfer my pictures over. And I don't know how, but I do remember at some point my mother and I getting in an argument and her being like, I saw the most vile, disgusting things on your phone, and that is why you're going to hell.
No, I have actually never been to a doctor's office like this. In the US, when you go to a doctor's appointment, this is what you sit on. Or depending on what doctor you're going to, some of them look like this. And no matter what age you are, you kind of just like sit there and talk to your doctor who sits on a stool. This is the typical American setup with the stool and the desk there, and you got the patient on the bed. Like, this is the only thing I've ever seen.
So, I currently have COVID, and because of that, I asked my fiance, who tested negative, if he could go to the store and pick up some essentials like cough drops, tissues, etc. And while he was there, I asked if he could pick up some honey for my tea. And because I trust him, I immediately put it in my tea without looking at it really, and I drank it all, and I went to make a second cup. This is barbecue sauce. I drink barbecue sauce. Okay. Oh, no, too much. That's better, okay.
Good morning, guys. Come to my morning routine with.
Get ready with me for jail. I'm gonna start off with some e.l.f. Camo Concealer. And then blend.
Okay, let's add some contour. Okay, and now let's blend. Now a little foundation just to like blend all this shit together. Just a little bit. Powder to set the face. Yeah. Bronzer. Okay. I'm really just trying to go for like snatched, you know what I mean? Gotta look good in the mugshot. Might put it on a shirt. Probably will. Blush. Yes. The base is done, so I'm gonna come back with eyebrows. Look who came to help. Brows are done. Little white eyeliner. Right there. And a little there. Yep. Trust. Cute. I'm gonna put some in my waterline too. Next, eyeliner and lashes. I'm gonna come back a bad bitch. Okay. We're getting there. She looks pretty good. It looks good. This is the fit. T-shirt, biker shorts. Yeah.
Let's do a full face of e.l.f. Cosmetics. These products came to £42 altogether. First, I'm using the Flawless Satin Foundation in the shade Lily. It's maybe a little bit yellow for me, but I think it was a pretty good match. It blended in so easily with my beauty blender, and I think the finish is absolutely beautiful. Satin is definitely a good description. It doesn't look too shiny, but it doesn't look too unnaturally matte either, very skin-like. Then I used the 16-hour Camo Concealer in the shade Fair Rose. I dotted it under my eyes, on a red spot, and then on my chin as well. It's so much more pigmented than I was expecting. Even though it's very full coverage, it blended out so beautifully and didn't leave any creasing at all. I absolutely love this concealer. I think it's such a good product. Looking pretty flawless. On my cheeks, I used the monochromatic multi-stick in the shade Sparkling Rose. I really love the purple tones of this. It's quite unusual for me, but I think it's really beautiful. It was really easy to blend out with my fingers, and I think it looks so nice. To set everything in place, I used the Halo Glow setting powder in the shade Light. I just poured some into the lid and then used my Charlotte Tilbury powder brush to set everything in place, especially my forehead, under my eyes, and then around my mouth. It looks so nice and airbrushed. On my brows, I used the Instant Lift Brow Pencil in the shade Neutral Brown. I started by using the pencil to go over any little gaps in my brows, and then I used the spoolie on top just to make everything look a bit more natural and blend it out. This matched the natural colour of my brow hairs so well. Then I went in with the Waterproof Length and Volume Mascara in black. This was okay. I don't think the small wand did much, and the mascara itself was quite dry, but I think it looked quite nice after I'd applied a few coats. And finally on my lips, I used the Lip Plumping Gloss in the shade Sparkling Rosé. I don't know if this actually plumped my lips at all, but it definitely tingled and it felt really nice and smooth on the lips. I absolutely love how this look turned out, so glowy and fresh.
Girl, make sure you're in a quiet area because this might be a little bit TMI for the office, but you know I work from home, so. But girl, my coochie has been blinking for the past like 25 minutes. And I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting here at my desk trying to do these people work. And every 2 minutes it's just... And I'm like, what's going on down there? This ever happened to you?
Hold on. Cat turds. I know that's not what you look like. Can you please get Katy Perry out of your pro-life picture? That will not be acceptable. Get her off of your pro-life picture. Why are people saying say cheese? We're not going to be saying cheese. We're not taking pictures.
15 years ago, my ex-husband yelled and screamed at me about spending $100 on a hair straightener. But today, one of us is, and the other one is still using her hair straightener, so